Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Recovery Classroom. My name is Drew. I am an alcoholic, and today I'm a recovering alcoholic, and I cannot be any more grateful. I want to take a quick second and let my friends know, especially my friends that are local to the Huntington, West Virginia area. The Miracles Group has announced that they will be hosting their 12 Steps to Freedom workshop beginning Wednesday night, April the 2nd. It's a 6-week program. Every Wednesday night from 6 to 8, they will take you from steps 1 all the way through step 12. And I don't care if you're 3 months into your recovery like I was whenever I took the workshop, or you're 30 years, you need to check this workshop out. It's incredible, and it's life-changing for sure. If you're interested, you can message us on the Recovery Classroom Facebook group page, and we will put you in touch with the folks that you need to be to get a hold of in order to register for that workshop. It's absolutely incredible. And I also want to take a quick second and thank our friends in the treatment facility. We went in last night for our crosstalk meeting, and it was incredible. The willingness, the eagerness, everybody was excited. They were participating in the conversation and the dialogue. And so if my friends from the facility are watching this morning in the room, on the YouTube channel anyway, thank you guys for letting us come in and hang out with you on a Tuesday night. You kept us sober one more night. One of the topics that was discussed last night I found incredibly fascinating, because I never quite considered it from the perspective that folks were sharing about, was the topic of relapse versus slips. Were they the same? Were they different? How do you interpret it? And again, the clients in there, they shared some incredible things that I had never really considered. And as I got to thinking about it, got to going back through my own personal history, I realized, man, that was something I never really thought a whole lot about. But I think it is interesting that I automatically resorted to the slip mentality. And here's what I mean. There were periods where I wasn't working AA by any means. I wasn't working any program at all. I was doing the white knuckle thing, right? It was discipline. There were times where I'd do great. I'd be 3 months sober, and I'd be like, oh, okay, man, I'm doing good. And something would happen, and all of a sudden I'd go take a drink. Well, that was just a slip. That was just a slip, right? And I'd do good for another, 3 or 4 weeks, and then something else would happen, and I would have another slip. And on the way home from the facility last night, I realized I've never had a slip, because my slips have always turned into a relapse. My lapse in judgment, I think it was mentioned one night, last night anyway, one person mentioned that it was a lapse in judgment. It wasn't necessarily a slip, it was just a lapse in judgment. And as I was thinking about this, every time I had a lapse in judgment, my lapse in judgment turned into a full-blown relapse. And I never quite considered it from that perspective. And I do remember thinking that at points in time in that foggy period of my sobriety anyway, I do remember thinking, I'm using this as an excuse. I'm using this to justify my behaviors, justify my actions. And then, of course, that would make me even more mad, more upset, more disappointed in myself. Man, you can't even stay sober. You had a drink last week. Well, fuck it. I might as well go ahead and get good and drunk, just like the big book says, right? Might as well just go ahead and get good and drunk. That lapse, that momentary lapse in judgment of me taking that first drink, I can never call it a slip, because that slip always led me sliding into a full-blown relapse. And so from my personal perspective, I can't really say that I had slips per se. It was just the start of a relapse. And if I take it a step further, I just don't think I was ready to quit drinking. That's what it all boils down to. I just wasn't ready to quit drinking. Not until July the 5th, 2021, whenever I took my last drink. I remember that night clearly. It's easy for us to sit and try to justify our behavior, sit and try to rationalize why we might have taken a drink or why we might have fallen off the wagon. At the end of the day, we can't go back and change our past. The only thing we can change is what we do today and what we do going forward. And that was another topic that they segued into last night, was resentments. I remember I would resent myself, as I just mentioned. I would start getting angry at myself because I drank last week, or I drank last night. And I'd say, well, again, screw it. Might as well go ahead and get good and drunk today. I've already messed up. We can't think like that. And again, the big book is clear. We don't have a drinking problem. We have a thinking problem. Just because we mess up doesn't mean we can't course correct. We can't get back on track. It's not a matter of what we did in our past. It's not a matter of what we drank last week or what drug we used last night. What matters is what you're doing right now, what you're thinking right now. Are you going to put that behind you, put that on the shelf? Because we can't change it. We can't change it, but we can move forward. We just have to have that mental clarity to make that decision and have the ability to connect with our higher power to help propel us and move us forward. What we did in the past is in the past. We can't change it. Good, bad, ugly, indifferent, it doesn't matter. But what we can change and what we can do is take action right now. If I slip and I fall off the wagon and I relapse, what am I going to do about it? I'm going to pick myself back up. I'm going to put myself back on course, and I'm going to start trying to do the next right thing. One of my favorite sayings in the room is when you can't do the next right thing, do the next thing right. And that, to me, is the next thing right. So with that being said, I'll let you guys go. Thank you guys for letting me come in and share 5 to 10 minutes of your day with you. You guys keep me sober, and I cannot be more appreciative. We'll be talking again soon. Remember, guys, you can't get drunk if you don't take that first drink.